Hi everybody, this is Metal Shop Steve. Today we have a really exciting interview with Abby Kay right here. Say hi, Abby.
Hi, Abby.
So, for those of you who don't know Abby, she is an up-and-coming musician, fantastic bass player. She has a new song out, which we will talk about in just a little bit. But first of all, let's talk about Abby. Let's tell us who you are and what you're doing.
Well, Abby Kay is a 16-year-old bassist and vocalist. I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I did just put out my first single. It's called It Should Have Been Me, and you can find it on all streaming platforms worldwide.
Cool. Yes, I have already found it. I believe a lot of people have also already found it. So tell me a little bit about, well, I guess first of all, we'll say that you've been kind of working hard. You've been doing a lot of live stuff. You put out live videos. And I guess how is the process kind of different to jump in and start writing your own stuff?
So up until about a year ago, I never pictured myself as an original artist. I actually never even imagined that I would be a singer. But after I went to Grammy Camp in Los Angeles, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to start writing some songs. And after that, I still didn't catch on. I still never wrote a song until I had an experience that triggered my songwriting process, and that's where It Should Have Been Me was born.
Okay. Not to give anything away, but are you planning on writing some more new stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
We have something, I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it is yet, but we have something that's about 75% done, so that'll be coming out pretty soon here.
Okay. Very, very cool. So I guess talking a little bit about all this live work you've been doing, it seems like you're a pretty hardworking musician and you guys are out there playing as much as possible all over the place. What's the road life like? What's it like traveling and playing?
So I haven't gotten out as much as I would like to. Currently we are planning a 2020 summer tour, but I have been doing some regional shows, but I am super excited to get out. That's my dream as a musician. I want to be a touring musician, travel the world. I always say my definition of making it is when you can be playing internationally, playing your original music to a huge sold-out crowd, and everyone sings your songs back to you. That's like what I want so bad. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to that, and I really hope I can make it happen.
Awesome. Well, one of the reasons that I kind of, once I found you online and started to follow you, I got so excited because I'm an old guy, but this kind of takes me back to my youth, and it's so exciting anymore to hear young people playing rock. I feel like rock is disappearing, but you seem to have kind of created this little, you've got some friends. There's a musician hiding off camera over here. So do you feel like rock is kind of still there? It's just kind of hiding, or what do you think about that?
So rock music definitely is not as popular as it was in the 70s and 80s. I think there was a dip in about the late 90s and early 2000s, but I do think it is coming back, and it's coming back stronger than ever. I know I'm trying to be part of that new wave of rock and roll, but I know there's so many other young musicians, like Logan Foland, my guitarist. He is an exceptional musician. If you check out the guitar solo on my song It Should Have Been Me, it actually blew my mind the first time he played it, and I definitely think it's coming back stronger than ever.
Awesome. Do you want to pop on camera and wave to everybody? Say hi. Besides that guitar solo that she's talking about, if you find a live video of, I believe The Trooper is the one that I really noticed, and watching this guy just blaze away on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Impressed right over there. Give him some
Yes.
props as well. So Abby Kay on bass, Abby Kay on vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw you play guitar at one point too in a video.
Yes. So I do play guitar. Actually, guitar is my first instrument. Then I switched to bass because I don't even know how it happened. It happened in such a weird way. But I ended up on bass, and it just felt right. I knew I was a bassist. Then I picked up singing about a year and a half ago. Then I also play piano and drums. And I actually, just the other day, I recorded a video. It'll be on YouTube soon. It's kind of embarrassing, but Logan taught me how to play the guitar solo that he played on my song. It was rough, but it happened. So Yes, you have seen me play guitar.
Very cool. Well, you're joining the kind of the force of kind of bass playing front members of the band. You know, there's Abby and Lemmy and
Mm-hmm.
Sting. All these
Yeah.
one name kind of people.
Yeah.
Um, very cool. So, who are some of your bass idols? Do you have bass idols?
Oh yeah. So originally, my biggest influence was Gene Simmons. He's actually what got me into music. But it has changed a little bit now to Steve Harris, Lemmy, Geddy Lee. I will always be a huge fan of Gene Simmons, but I do think as I've changed in my bass skills, I do think I've gotten more towards the heavier side. But then overall for music, my biggest inspiration has to be Nita Strauss, and a close second, Lizzie Hale, of course.
Awesome. Well, I was going to get around to asking you about Nita at some point. For those of you who actually are familiar with Abby, you know that she and Nita have a little bit of a connection. Why don't you go ahead and just tell us about how that went down?
So last December, I was a huge fan of Nita Strauss, and she was playing a solo tour in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Well, I found out that she needed an opening band, and I was with a total high school throw together, play with your best friends in the garage kind of heavy metal band called Osmium 76. That was the heaviest metal on the periodic table, Osmium 76. And so we ended up getting the gig somehow. I don't know how, but I think they really just needed a band, and we were able to sell the tickets, so we got the gig, and that night completely changed my life. I was not expecting it to be that big of a deal. I didn't even think I would get to see Nita or talk to Nita, but somehow I ended up playing the Trooper with her on stage. And I think whenever I was playing, I was just trying not to cry. I was like, be cool, don't cry, it's okay. But yeah, and then after the show, she invited me out by her tour bus, and she was like, hey, you were amazing, let's keep in touch. And I was like, what? Like, what's happening? This is like my idol. And then I got the opportunity to open for her a second time, and that was in Charlotte just a few months ago with my brand new band after I signed a management deal, and I played my first song ever, It Should Have Been Me, there. And after the show, she told me how much I had progressed, that I was no longer just in that high school band. I was a real professional now. And our goal going into that second show, we like to say the first show I was there as a huge fan of Nita Strauss. The second show, I was there for business. My new band and I wanted to show up and punch people in the mouth with our performance.
Awesome. And that's not really where it ended. You actually got to go see her play with Alice Cooper then on the road, right?
So my dad and I, he's my concert buddy, we flew to Cleveland to see the Alice Cooper show and also to visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Very cool.
And Nita knew that we were there, and she said, hey, can I meet you guys somewhere? And I said, yeah, we're at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we met outside by the food truck, and she was like, hey, how many passes do you want for tomorrow's show? And I was like, what? So then she gave us band guest passes for the show, and I'm actually seeing her again on November 15th in Greenville, so just in a few weeks, and I'm super excited.
Wow, very exciting. Also, for those of you not familiar with Nita Strauss, you should be. She is a shredder. So go check her out, and I guess you can say that anybody who gets to open for, or who gets to play with Alice Cooper is probably doing all right for themselves. So
yes.
Check Nita out, definitely. You mentioned your dad, and I wanted to talk about your dad a little bit, because I have a feeling I have this picture of him in my head as this kind of longtime rock and roller, and probably a pretty good musical influence on you.
Oh yeah. So actually my dad, Gene Simmons is what got me into playing music, but what got me into music itself is my dad, definitely. He had this rule. I was about 5 years old. My sister and I, we would go to him and say, hey, will you put this Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber song on our iPod? And he would go, okay. And he would give it back to us, and he had put the good stuff on there. So we had our Taylor Swift, and we had Iron Maiden, and Metallica, and Kiss. And my sister was like, what are these songs? But I actually enjoyed listening to them. So my dad is really, that's who got me into music.
Awesome. Yeah, just the other day I had a similar experience. I have a 4-year-old. He got into my car after preschool and he picked up my Motorhead album and he said, "Dad, let's listen to this." And then we did, and he liked it. So I have a picture of that on Instagram, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like, I don't know, some friends of mine said that the earlier that you start getting into rock, it just kind of sticks with you. And I think that's great for younger generations coming up. So who are some more of, who are you listening to right now? What's your playlist? What do you like?
So, even though my favorite genre of rock is the Iron Maiden genre, I love Iron Maiden so much. Right now, I am trying to listen to some modern rock bands, especially female fronted, because I know that's what I'm trying to get into. So I'm listening to New Year's Day, Hailstorm, Nikki Stringfield from the Iron Maiden. She just put out a new song, and of course, I'm listening to all of Nita's stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I somehow find myself kind of falling into the female fronted metal a lot myself. 3 album reviews that I just put up on my site are all female fronted bands.
Yes.
I love New Year's Day. I'd love to see them live too. I guess let's talk about, let's kind of jump back into the song a little bit. Is that coming from a personal place, writing that, or it kind of seems like a little story?
Yes, so everyone has an "it should have been me" moment. Mine happened a little over a year ago. There was a phenomenal local band, and they were needing a bassist. I learned 13 songs in 12 days, some of the hardest songs, Rush songs, a song by Yes, and I went into the audition, and they said, "You're our best option." And then I never got the call. And I don't know if that's because I was so young. I was probably 14, 15. They were 17, 18. Or I don't know if that's because I'm a girl. But I was hurt. And then I got mad. And that's when I wrote "It Should Have Been Me." And that was the first song I ever wrote.
Awesome. Isn't that the best revenge, though, sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
It really...
It is.
It maybe not even revenge, but just, kind of healing. And...
Yeah, and there's no hard feelings between us. We're still all good friends, the band and I are.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the time, I was really upset, and it was a personal reflection for me. And even though I don't have those feelings anymore, because I've gotten to do so many things other than that because it wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gotten to sign a management deal. I have the song out now. So I still have to use that song because I did write that, and it is my feelings. And it has helped me get to where I am now. So I am kind of thankful that it wasn't me, but it still should have been me.
Nice. So, again, you said you're not giving away secrets for future songs, but do you feel like at some point you're going to come out with that Iron Maiden kind of original type of song?
It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Awesome. Very excited to see that. I guess before I kind of started this interview, we were talking a little bit about other songs you like to play. Do you like to really challenge yourself bass-wise and learn tough things?
Yes.
What do you like to learn to play?
Right now, honestly, I'm focusing on learning a lot of theory for college auditions, but for actual songs, the toughest song I've ever had to learn was YYZ by Rush. And that's not the toughest song I know how to play, but just the fast right hand technique, that was hard for me to get. And I remember I stayed in my room for 4 entire days. I slept maybe 6 hours. I didn't leave my room for 4 or 5 days, I don't remember. And I played that opening riff the whole 4 days while watching Friends, of course, on Netflix. But that's the hardest song I've ever had to learn. It's not the toughest song I know now, but that was a hard song for me to learn.
Wow. Okay. So it seems like you really enjoy putting these videos up of bass covers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that you're really looking to do next as a bass cover? Do you have like a group of a couple songs that you're kind of hoping to do?
I do have them planned out in my calendar, and I can't think of what they are. Let's see. Well, I just posted, I haven't posted this one on YouTube yet, but I did I Want You to Rock Me by Vixen. and I did Savior by Rise Against, and that was that I had never heard of that song before, and then I just like heard it and I learned it in probably under 5 minutes. I think I just like started playing along with it, and then I just decided to record it, and that actually like got a lot of views on my Instagram. Like a lot of people enjoyed that, so maybe I'll start doing more variety of genres and stuff.
Very nice. I think one of the things that first struck me, kind of, I know we're jumping all around here, but
Yeah, it's okay.
you mentioned Vixen. That's one of the things that kind of struck me about your song, is that to me it almost, and I went back even this morning on my flight, and I was listening to some Lita, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of compared that song stylistically with maybe some Vixen stuff or some Lita. Is that nice for you to hear? Do you like that kind of comparison? Yeah.
I mean, I love Lita Ford and I love Vixen, so I mean, yeah, for me to hear that I kind of fit in with them, I mean, that's great for me. We were going for like a Hailstorm and Avril Lavigne vibe, and I think a lot of feedback says like we got that, but now we're trying to develop what my sound is. And okay, these can be my influences, but who am I?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of bands out there who are trying to sound like other bands, but ultimately you want to be you.
Yes.
I think that's probably where you're going to be the happiest and most successful. Very cool. I guess just some more fun stuff to talk about here. You got to open for Nita. Anybody else that would be like your dream list to work with?
Okay, so have you seen that Lita Ford and Doro are doing something together in 2020?
I have not.
They announced that they're doing something. I don't know if that's an album or if that's a tour, but if that's a tour, I want to open for that tour. I don't know if it would even be possible. I'm sure if it is a tour, they would already have direct support, but if like that, I would have to say that as of right now, that's my dream.
Awesome. That would be a really cool one to do.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you want to, I guess, tell us about the whole process or your single in general? Anything that we didn't really cover about that?
I will say that you can find me on all social media at Abby K on bass and on my website abbykonbass.com. Again, my debut single, It Should Have Been Me. It's not It Should Have with the apostrophe. It used to be, but we took that out. It's It Should Have Been Me. I have to clarify that.
Grammatically correct. I like
everyone assumes it's It Should Have Been Me, and then they can't find it. But yeah, It Should Have Been Me, Abby K. It's on all streaming platforms.
And I will definitely include all the links to Abby's stuff everywhere down below here in the video, so she is nice and easy to find. I think that's about all that I've got for you today. I really appreciate the interview, and we look forward to hearing more Abby K stuff very soon.
Thank you.